In this video, we will learn about few basic things that are very important for a programmer to know these things. So for a beginner, this is very much important. And if you are already familiar with this, then you can skip this section and you can start with the next section. So the things that I am going to discuss here is what are programming paradigms, means programming styles. We will learn about this. Then what is an algorithm and pseudocode. Next is flowchart. Then steps for program development. Under this, I'll be discussing about linker and loader also. So in this section, these topics will be covered in different videos. So in this video, let us talk about programming paradigms. Let us talk about programming paradigm. Programming paradigm means the style of programming. Right from the beginning of computer sciences, that is from the beginning of programming languages, high-level languages, there are various styles adopted. Based on the development and the new trends have been adopted in programming styles. So few of them I am discussing here that is helpful for us to understand the programming approach of C++. Let us understand this. See, these are the type of paradigms I am going to discuss about. First one is monolithic programming, then modular or procedural programming, then object-oriented, then aspect-oriented programming. So right now, today, we are following aspect-oriented programming. We are following this approach. And then the beginning, it was monolithic. So how the changes has occurred and what are the differences between them, we will study about them one by one. So I'll remove this and start. So already I have some examples here for explaining paradigms. Let us start and pick up one by one and study them. First one is monolithic programming. This means the entire program code, source code, will be a single piece, single file or single body. This was the early programming, the beginning of programming. So example, BASIC is one of the language that is old programming language. This used to follow monolithic approach. In one of the video, I said that a program contains two things. In the beginning videos, I have said one thing. Program contains data and instructions upon that data. So if I list it here, two things are there, data and instructions. So in monolithic programming, everything is mixed. Everything is mixed. These are the lines of a program. I have just drawn lines here. I have not written the code, program code itself. Assume those are the instructions in a program. So this is monolithic. Let us understand the problems with this one. See, if everything has to be in a single body, so it is just like one-man show. A single person has to do everything, right? So how many people can write this program? Means together, how many programmers can write? Only one programmer. What is the length of a program? It can be growing. If it is growing more and more, it becomes difficult for a programmer to finish it. If it is very lengthy, then it may take weeks or months of time for development. And if there is a single error in one line, then the whole program is useless. So if you remove that line, then the program is correct. So that's how the dependency is. It cannot be broken down into pieces, so it cannot be done as a teamwork, so only one programmer has to do it. So it is just like a painting. Only one painter can paint it, right? So multiple painters or team of painters will not make a painting. So that's why programming was thought as an artwork in the beginning. So the reason the style of programming was monolithic. So everything is a single block or a single piece. Then as the new languages started evolving and the requirements started changing and the computers were commonly used, then there was a need to develop the big size program which needs a team of programmers. So modular programming was introduced. So what is this? So comparison with this one I'll explain. See, when everything is written here, maybe few lines are there that are used here and the same lines are written here also. So why to write those two lines those same line multiple times? Why can't I write them at one place and use it multiple times here? Like function 1, I will call it as function 1, and here if I want it more than one time, I will call the function 1 once again. I will call it once again function 1. So this is what writing the same piece of code and reusing. So the first thing is reusing. We can reuse the code here. So what does a function do? Function performs a smaller or specific task. This is performing a major task, which is a collection of smaller tasks. So the idea here is that you can break that major task into smaller tasks, and you can define smaller tasks as a function. So each is a function. Suppose you are conducting an event like an exhibition if you are hosting at your place, at your college, then you may have to do a lot of other things, right? Making arrangements, inviting people, right? So a lot of other things are required. So you can divide the work, and you can do it as a teamwork. So an event can be organized by group of people, not just one person. So that's how a single person is doing the entire task. Now you can divide the task into smaller tasks and divide it. And that's it. So each small task is a function. So that are called as modules or procedures. So we can make them as functions or procedures. So this is the idea of modular programming. Now, one more example I'll give you here. Procedural programming means if a person is running a shop, he alone takes care of the shop. So cleaning of the shop, opening of the shop, and dealing with the customer, purchasing and maintaining inventory, everything he takes care, right? So single person handling the complete business. So it is possible for a small business. Now here a bigger business. So bigger business required manager and workers. So let us say function is a worker, another function, another worker, and so on. Now he is manager. He knows who should do which job and he will use them here. Manager doesn't do anything by himself. He will make use of the people, right? People know how to do the work. So functions will perform the task, and the main function will organize all those functions together and uses those functions to perform a bigger task. So manager in a business. So when the business is bigger, you need a team of workers and a manager. So this is the change in the approach, right? Now what are the benefits? Benefit is, once you write the function, you use it in your program, this program, or also you can use it in other program, and even you can share it with other programmers in other projects. So reusability of code. Once a function is written, it can be used a number of times. Second benefit, a team of programmers can develop it. Suppose 5 programmers, each will be developing one function, and one of the programmer will make a main function. So all the functions, if you have some 50 functions, 10 functions can be given to the programmers, and one of the programmer can integrate all of them. So a team of programmer can work, functions can be developed individually. That is the benefit. So this has increased the development of programs or softwares, this procedural programming. And the language which became very famous in procedural modular programming is C language. Then next, this is the same example. Just a little bit more information is there. Let us see this. See here, functions are set of instructions for performing a specific task. This is for performing a specific task, performing operations and completing a task. Operations on what? Data. Where is data? Data is organized here in the form of a structure. In C language, we can define structures where we can group the related data together. So this is the data and these are the functions. And if you observe, these functions are meant for that data only. They are meant for this data only, right? So main function is having data and the functions that are acting upon that data. So this is the finer method of writing C language programs, where structures and the functions. This is the same thing only, modular programming. Now next is object-oriented programming. Let us come to this. So from here I can explain you that. This is the data. These are the functions meant for this data. So what they are doing outside, why don't you include them inside this one only? So yes, if you see here, classes. Class contains data and the functions upon that data. Everything is inside the class. This is a complete class. This is a class. Everything is inside the class. So this is a new approach. So the model programming was having data separate, function separate. And in object orientation, we say that you keep the data and the functions related to that data, you keep them together only and define it as a class. So This approach is object oriented, and we can create the object of that class and we can call the function. This is what used in C++ and Java and other languages. So this is the latest method, and this is the present method that we are following, that is object orientation, right? This is what we are going to learn. Let us understand the benefits of this one. See, if a programmer is developing something, he can develop a class. So that class contains data and the operations all together. So the entire complexity is within the class only. So one programmer will deal with that complete complexity. So this work was distributed at a smaller level. This work is distributed at a major level. This was reusable, function was reusable. This is class is reusable. The data and the functions together are reusable. That is the benefit. So this is little higher level of abstraction. Now one last point. What is the difference between these paradigms? If you observe, what we want to do remains the same. What the software should do remains same. What's the logic remains same. Only what is changing? The way you organize your program code is changing. This is everything was at same place. This is divided into function. This is divided into date, structure and function. This is in the form of classes. So if you see the differences, suppose a person is running a hotel that is giving or serving food to the people, hotel. Now one person is making everything. It's a hotel only. And a team of people are there who are running a hotel. So it's a hotel business only. Everything is same. That same food is served and the customers are also same type. Everything is same. This is more organized. This is more organized. So only the way is how the hotel is working is changing. Purpose of hotel and the results of hotel is same. So same way, if you are writing a program, you follow this approach or that approach, the outcomes of the program will be same. Only the difference is if you look inside the program, the way the program is written is different. So this is not for the users of the program. This is for the programmers itself. These paradigms are useful for the programmers to make programming easy. And this is the easiest method of writing program, that is C++. That's what we are going to learn. So that's all in this video. In the next video, we will see algorithms and pseudocode.